Hello and welcome out to the Dice Tower. I'm Wendy Yi, and I'm going to be giving my top 10 kids games today. What I decided to do with this, because obviously there's a huge range of kid ages. My daughter's 6.5, so my 10, 9, 8s are going to be kind of younger ages, whereas my 1, 2s, and 3s are going to be where she's at now. And I'm going to kind of grow with it throughout my list. So let's go ahead and get started. Number 10 is Orchard Memo Game. This is a very cute memory match cooperative game by Haba. And basically what you're trying to do is you roll a die and you match up the symbols on the die with the fruit that's out. And you're basically trying to collect all of the fruit and harvest it before the crow comes in and eats it all. It's very simple. It's pretty easy to win, but it uses that memory match that's, in my opinion, very overused in children's games, but it gamifies it a little bit with the die, with the trying to figure out, what is out there and really working together. And so I enjoy this game a lot, and I feel like we started, I think, at 2.5, maybe 3 years old with our daughter, being able to really coach her along and start her early on in gaming. So that is my number 10 Orchard Memo Game. My number 9 pick is My First Castle Panic. This is a cooperative game where monsters are trying to come and break down your castle. It's very simple. Basically what you're doing is you're playing cards and you're removing monsters from the board. It's basic, it's all open information, and so what I like about it is that this is a great game for coaching children on how to have a little bit of strategy to kind of work towards you. We see what's going to happen in the future. How can we plan ahead based on what we have? But also everything's open. And so I can look at my child's cards, at my cards, and I can see, hey, look, I noticed that you have this card. It'll be really good next round. And then maybe you can use my card this round. So I really like this game. It's very interactive, it's very cooperative, and it teaches a lot of those basic strategy skills that then can be used later on in gaming. So that is my number 9, My First Castle Panic. My number 8 is Forbidden Island. I may have a little bit of a theme going on here that cooperative games work great with children. This was exciting for my daughter because Forbidden Island looks more like a grown-up game, and I think that there's a part of her, and probably a lot of children, that they want to play mom and dad's games, they're just not there yet. And so Forbidden Island, it's completely cooperative. All the information is open across the table, so you can teach that strategy. You can help coach along and help them make decisions, but also it's not that complicated. You take a few actions on a turn, you have a special ability, and you can really work with your child to help them learn and understand, and you can give them more independence as they play and as they get the game. So I think that Forbidden Island is a great early cooperative game for a child, and then they can feel like they're playing a real game with you. So that is my number 8, Forbidden Island. My number 7 is Marshmallow Test. Now this is a very simple trick-taking game where the main strategy of it is that you don't want to get all the tricks at the beginning. So once you get to 4 points, you then get to score your points, but you only get points based on the amount of tricks that other people have. So it's a game of kind of waiting it out and seeing what's going to happen, but also make sure that you reach 4 tricks. So it's very simple, it's cool, and I think the really fun part for my daughter is the marshmallows. So every round when you get points, you get these tiny little marshmallows and you get to stack them and play with them. They're made out of foam. But we have played this and do often play this with real food, with cereal, with real marshmallows, with fun stuff. And so it takes a game that teaches those basic trick-taking rules and throws in a little extra, but it also adds that fun element of food, which children love and adore. You can keep it healthy, you can make it not healthy, you can just play with the foam and not eat anything, whatever it is. But Marshmallow Test is my number 7, and my daughter loves it. My number 6 is Zombie Kids Evolution. This game is a campaign you're working across, and you're slowly unlocking stuff and putting stickers on things. So it's one of those fun games that changes as you go. But basically, you're students and you're trying to lock your school's doors so that the zombies don't keep coming in. And they're fun. You've got the janitor zombie and the teacher zombie and the whatever zombies that you're trying to keep out. And you've got fun player powers like squirt guns and skateboards. So I think that it fits really well for children. The games are not very long, so it keeps the attention span, but also because it's a campaign, there's fun stuff to unlock. So I feel like they keep wanting to come back and continue playing it. We played all of it with our daughter. We didn't quite meet every objective, but we did most of it, and we definitely unlocked everything. She had a ton of fun with it, and I think that many kids will as well. So that's my number 6, Zombie Kids Evolution. My number 5 is Adventure Games Dungeon. This is a fun little RPG game where basically you're locked in a dungeon and you have to find your way out. There's cool interaction, and it's like a turn-based cooperative thing where you're exploring stuff. It makes me feel like an old-style video game, like Day of the Tentacles or one of those things where you go around and you just kind of explore things and you poke on things and look at things and you see what happens. You know, hey, look under the bed. Oh, there's something shiny under there. Let's see what's there. Let's see what I can get and what I can use that for later. So there's fun little puzzles. Good stuff and bad stuff can happen to you, but eventually, you know, you hope to make it out of this dungeon alive is the plan. But it's got very fun story. We played it with our daughter. We handed it to our niece and nephew who don't really play a lot of games, and they adored it. We've just heard so many kids that have had a lot of fun, specifically with the dungeon scenario of the adventure games. But great fun, really good for kids, just a great family game in general. So that is my number 5 adventure game, The Dungeon. My number 4 is My Little Cythe. This is a game that I wasn't so sure about because I'm not a huge Cythe fan. And then when I got the game, I thought, oh, this game is big. It's got a lot going on. But this is a lot of fun for my daughter. This game teaches strategy. It is a competitive game instead of cooperative, so it teaches a lot of strategy. But it's simple enough that a 5 or 6-year-old can play it, especially if they've had other games and they've learned some basic strategy going on. This is a game that I don't feel like I'm playing a kid's game. I feel like I'm playing a game that's got good strategy and good thoughts, and we are racing, you know, to get friendship points and all that fun stuff. But it just got a lot of good things to it, and therefore I'm not getting bored as an adult playing this game. I don't feel like I'm bored or that it's too easy or that I have to really pull my punches to play with my daughter. Does she win all the time? No, but does she win? Yes, she does. And so I think that that is a great balance for especially in a growing child and their game, because you want them to have hope that they can win, but you also want to be able to teach them that this is a real competitive game and we're all going to really play it to our best ability. So I think that's very cool about that game. So my number 4 is My Little Cythe. My number 3 is new to me. I actually just recently played this, and that is Unlock Kids. And I will tell you what, that this game is fabulous, absolutely fabulous. So it is a simplified version of Unlock. It is not timed, so there's not that like race to finish and all that kind of stuff. But it takes a lot of similar elements of Unlock and other escape rooms that you're trying to figure out things. You get little pieces, you get new cards as you explore, and you have to kind of put stuff together and solve little puzzles. But the puzzles are at such a good age level for, you know, my 6.5-year-old daughter. And older kids can also play it. Like it's just right there that you have to look at what's going on. You figure out puzzles, but there's nothing detrimentally hard about it. I know some of the other unlock games I've played where I've had to like cheat a little bit and look up rules and be like, how do I finish this? Because you just get stuck. In this game, I don't feel like you get stuck, but if you do, there is a book of resources. And so none of it is on the app. It's just all with cards and with little cardboard chips punched out. But my daughter can do most of the puzzles with very minimal coaching, and so I felt like it was a great family game because instead of coaching her along, I felt like we got to enjoy the game ourselves and mostly let her do a lot of the decisions and a lot of the work, but then we got to still play along and kind of help figure things out. So that was tons of fun, so much fun, and that is number 3, Unlock. My number 2 is Micro Macro. This is a game that we have played all of the family-friendly ones with our child, with the caveat that you do have to screen the stories because Not every family is okay with all of the information that happens in it. But this is a game about solving a lot of murders and crimes. So if you're okay with that for your child and you feel like they're mature enough for that, this is tons of fun. You have a map that is just, it looks like a Where's Waldo. It's just black and white and it's just covered with stuff and people and animals doing things. It's a whole city, and basically you're going to follow people around and try to figure out who solved murders. Oh, we have a dead body. Where's that dead body before? Oh, we see him over here. He was walking with flowers in his hand. Okay, where'd he get the flowers? Oh, there's the flower shop. There he is. We found him. And so it's a very cool game. And I don't know about other people's children, but my daughter's terrible about finding stuff. And so this game has really helped work on those skills. Is she still perfect at it? No, she'll still lose her water bottle in her room, even though it's, in the middle of the floor. But I really appreciate the skills that it teaches. Also, the story is fun, and the games level up, basically. So you've got like 1 through, I think, 5 stars, and the difficulty, you can increase it over time. And so, maybe you start with one little tiny area on the map, and that's all you work in. And then in the future, they start moving around in cars and they start going through subway systems, and you have to kind of spread across the whole map and discover the whole thing. And so I feel like it teaches a lot of those skills. It teaches it little by little, level by level. And the storylines my daughter loved and enjoyed. So that is my number 2, Micro Macro. My number 1 is Elder Sign. Now, this is a game that's all about, defeating the evil great monster that's coming out. You have to get a certain amount of Elder Signs before Cthulhu arises and, destroys the whole earth. So my daughter likes this, and I made this number 1 because she loves it, and I feel like this is right where the peak of her ability is at 6.5 years old. It's a cooperative game so that I can work a lot with teaching strategy to her. There's a lot of keeping track of special player powers and abilities that I can remind her of, but little by little she's collecting that and she's remembering it, she's retaining that information. And she can also figure out what are the best quests for her, basically, to go on, the places for her to visit and make those attempts to win games and get bonuses. So she can follow a lot of that. She can run her own health. She can do a lot of the parts of the game on her own. And then she just needs a little bit of that coaching. And I think the best part of this is that she feels like she's playing a grown-up game. This is a game that Chris and I have played for years. And so her being a part of that now is absolutely wonderful. The theme is dark if you're into that. If you're not into that for your children, that's 100% your choice. But I think that for her, this is such a good level, and it's right at that peak top, and that's why it's my number 1. So my number 1 is Elder Sign. Thanks so much for joining me for Top 10 Kids Games, and I hope that you enjoyed watching those games grow with my daughter from 10 to 1. She really has made leaps and bounds as a gamer and will continue to grow. If I were to do this game, if I were to do this list again in another 6 months, maybe in a year, I'd have totally different games on it. That is the beauty of children, is they do just continue growing and learning and expanding. And so starting games at any time in their childhood is wonderful. I think it teaches such good skills, things more than just turn taking and memory match. There's so many awesome skills about balancing and risk management and just remembering stuff, finding things. So many great things are going on in these games that I play with my daughter. So that is my top 10 kids games. Thanks so much for joining me, and have fun playing with your kids.